Learning compound interest using formula. So let's get the formula right initially. Now, what are the practical applications of compound interest? It's a very, very, very interesting concept and has to be learned, okay? Because this is a concept where you guys learn about money, and learning about money, you know obviously how important it is, and it's a must, okay? Not only your generation people, not half, more than 90% of people do not know as to how money works. This chapter gives you an intro as to if you're really interested in it, you can go deeper in it, and all these concepts called as stock market, real estate, all these things depend on one concept called as compound interest. I won't dive deeper about that in applications in this video. I'll make a separate video for that. Please go watch it later, but let's understand the formula in this video, okay? So how many should we remember? I think one is enough, but we'll do two for our safety. Getting it? So using formula, two of them very important. Amount will be given by principal into 1 plus r by 100 to the power n, where the meaning of A is amount, where the meaning of P is called principal, the one amount of money you guys invest into the market, okay? The value of R, or the meaning of R, is nothing but rate percent. I'm pretty sure you guys might have seen all these charts of these banks, FD, 7.2%, 7.3%, rate percent, okay? And for how many years? Same, FD, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, just like that, number of years will be N, okay? Now, this is the formula that we use when the question says find the value of either N, R, P, or A. N, P, A, or R will be using this, but by chance, if they specify telling let's find the compound interest, you need not use this formula, okay? Because somewhere when you guys in your lower grades, when you guys learn something called as simple interest, and most importantly, simple interest and compound interest are not the same, okay? What's the scam going on there? The other video which I told you, we'll discuss that. That's concept there, but here compound interest will be given by amount minus principal. Remember this. Amount minus principal. Now, do we know a formula to write amount? Yes. I'll keep the left hand side as it is. Instead of writing AMT, I'll write this formula right now. P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N minus P as it is. I copy paste it. So if they ask you to find the value of CI directly, that is when you'll be using this formula. Getting it? So, when to use what? That obviously I cannot tell you directly. I'll have to take a reference of a question and then tell you. So let's dive to the first question. The first question says, at what rate percent? Okay, it's a very nice question. Compound interest. This does not mean to find compound interest. It is just that, like simple interest and compound interest, they're telling this question is based on CI. Okay. Does a sum of, the meaning of sum means principal. Remember this. The sum of money become 1.44 times itself in 2 years. So now what's happening here is 1.44 times itself, meaning if you assume the principal to be X, the value of amount will be 1.44X. Got the thing as to how it works? So 100 rupees. Amount became 1.44 into 100. That's the meaning of it. In how many years? The value of N in this case is 2 years. Okay. So writing the data only is the most important thing. At what rate percent? Just now I told you, whenever rate is supposed to be found, we'll use that amount formula. The formula goes like this. Please write your formula in almost all the steps, almost all the questions. Do not skip it. Okay. Now 1.44x equals x into 1 plus r by 100 to the power 2. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll cancel off the x and x. So left hand side what remains? 1.44 remains. Nothing in the denominator, meaning 1. Okay. Equals 1 plus r by 100 the whole square. Now careful. Left hand side has no square. Right hand side has a square, which means think of a method where you can write the left hand side also in terms of squares. That's an important step. So 12 square is 144. So 1.2 square will obviously be 1.44. So I'll try that. 1.2 the whole square equals 1 plus r by 100 the whole square. Okay. What gets cancelled? The power gets cancelled. Now what can be done? I'll shift the plus 1 to the left hand side, becomes minus 1. 0.2 will be equal to r by 100. Okay. Gets you obviously shift it. The answer will be 0.2 into 100. The answer is 20%. That's the answer. But what to remember, the powers are the most important things here. Do not forget that. Okay. So you gotta play properly with the powers. Now, so I have no space to write there. So R will be equal to 0.2 into 100. 20% is the rate of interest. That's it. Use the same formula here. Getting it? 1.44 times itself, meaning we're trying to find the amount. Remember that. Second question. In how many years? Understand. N is question mark. Will rupees 7,000, meaning this is the principal. Please keep writing the data along with the question. Rupees 7,000. Amount 2, you guys can see. Amount 2, A equals 9317 at 10%, meaning R equals 10%. Compound interest, done. How many years? N is question mark. So what formula to use? The same formula. A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. Okay. Now A's value we know 9317. P's value is 7k equals 10 is the value of r. 1 by 10 by 100. 1 plus 10 by 100 to the power n. Don't know the value of n. 0, 0 gets cancelled inside the bracket. Can you do that? Please do it. Okay. Now what happens? I'll bring all the numbers to one side. Why the hell have I put on equal to here? It's wrong here. And then there should be no thing there. Okay. So I'll bring all the 9317 divided by 7000. It becomes equals 1 plus 1 by 10. Okay. If you take LCM, the answer becomes 11 by 10 to the power n. Getting it? We're almost there. Now there are a few numbers to keep in mind. Okay. I'll tell you what are the numbers are. I'll try 7 times. 7 times 1000. 7 times 1. 331. I guess so. 7 is 2. 7 times 3. Correct. 3 1. Correct. 1331. Again, those numbers are 11 cube, 21 cube. Okay, very important. And few times 27 cube is important. So remember these numbers: 11 cube, 21 cube, and 27 cube. Fine. So right now, why am I telling this? Because left hand side is nothing but 11 by 10 the whole cube. That's how I told you, will be equal to 11 by 10 to the power n. So don't you think I'll be able to apply exponents here? Bases are same and there's an equal to sign in between. So we equate the powers. So the value of n becomes 3 years. That's it. 11 cube, 1331, 21 cube, I think it's 9261, 27 cube, I don't know, but you got to remember it. Fine. So 11 cube, 21 cube, most important. It'll save you guys a lot of time. Fine. And how do we know it's cube? Look at the denominator. Denominator has how many zeros? 3 zeros. So 10 cube. And mostly whenever you're trying to find the value of n in compound interest, the basis will be the same, which means you almost got your answer on the right hand side itself when you guys did 11 by 10. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. Interesting question. They say divide some random amount between two people, A and B, so that when their shares are lent out at 10% rate percent, the amount that A receives in 3 years is the same as what B receives in 5 years. Super question, especially the last part. So, amount received by A in 3 years. So, what I'll add the formula. So, wait. Amount of A in 3 years is equal to amount of B in 5. Okay. So, now what's the formula? For this, A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power what? 3 equals P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 5. Remember this first. Now, the value of R is the same for both of them. So, instead of me keeping it as R and R, I'll write it as 10 and 10. Okay, so it becomes 10 by 100 and 10 by 100. I'm done. But there's a small concept here. Principle is important. Both of them will never get same principles. Remember this. So because let's say I have 1000 rupees. I'm supposed to distribute the 1000 rupees to people. It is completely my wish. I can give them 500 each. But if I choose not to, it's my wish. I can give one person 100. I can give the other person 900. Now, how is the math here? If I'm giving person A 100 rupees, how much will the person B get? 1000 minus 100, which is nothing but 900. So I am telling you, if by chance, out of the 28,000 whatever, if person A is getting X, person B will get, can I tell, 28,000, whatever it is, 730, 28,730 minus X? That's the most important thing, which means principle will never be the same for both of them. If you remember this, more than enough. Now we can do the math. 0, 0 gets cancelled, 0, 0 gets cancelled. Okay. 11 by 10, the whole cube. This into 11 by 10 to the power 5. Now what's your hint? There are a lot of similar terms, so I only keep the X on the left hand side. I write that bracket as it is. 28730 minus X. Now here, obviously, when this bracket comes to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator. Bases are the same, and if there's a division sign in between, we subtract the powers. So basically it gets cancelled and 2 remains. 2 remains on the which side? On the right side. Okay, this is almost my answer. Now let's see what can be done. I'll keep the X as it is. X meaning principal borrowed by A. Okay, the 28,730 minus X. 11 square is 121 by 100. Okay, now what can be done? I crisscross. So 100X by 121 equals 28,730 minus X. Now I'll bring all the X terms to one side. 100X minus 1 by 121 minus X comes to the left side, becomes plus X equals 28,730. Obviously, I'll have to take LCM. LCM is 121. 100x plus 121x is my left hand side equals 28730. The answer here is 221 by 121x equals 28730. Don't get scared of the numbers, they will cancel. X equals 28730 times 121 by 221. Okay, 2873. We'll do the math. I'll use my calculator. 28730 divided by 221. 130 times. Okay, times 121. See, x borrowed 15, or x answer is 15730, which means this is the principal borrowed principal of A. Now principal of B, how do you find? Principal of B is nothing but 28730 minus 15730. Okay, 730. So 13,000 was borrowed by B. I told you, no, both of them, again, rupees is very important. Okay, so in this video we covered 3 important types for your compound interest. There are multiple types where the answer gets compounded half yearly. All those things will be in the next video. So subscribe so that you get a series of compound interest without missing any of the important types. I'll see you in the next video.